Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Simikemza James. So our new subscribers, you're welcome. Our old subscribers, you're all welcome, and I love you all. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a bucket hat. So I have this cute dress from my previous tutorial that I'm going to be making the bucket hat with this same print so that I sort of match them together and look cute. So I mean guys, I know you also want to look cute, so I'm going to be linking the video. You just click that to watch how to make this video, then you also make your bucket hat to look cute just like I'm going to be doing, right? So to do that, we'll be needing a marking pen. I will draft a pattern for that first before I go over to sew. So we'll need a marker, a cardboard or pattern paper, brown paper, whatever. Even if you don't have those, you can actually use any paper like a newspaper or a magazine paper or anything. You can make do with that. So I'm using my ruler here, and I also have my curves because this is my pattern master. Then I'm using my tape. So let's get into sewing. So for my to start on this point of my cardboard, right, I'm marking 8 inches like so. So actually the bucket hat consists of the top, which is sort of round like this. Then it has the side, which goes like this, like so. Then it has the brim, which is sorry about my drawing, it's not accurate. Sometimes it looks like this, like so. So this is what we are trying to do. So I'm going to mark 8 inches, right? So at this point I'm going to start with the brim before I get to the side. Then I'll do the top, right? I'm starting off with 8 inches like so, marking my 8 inches. Then I'm marking this round. What I want to do is get a round mark like so, right? Marking 8 inches round. I'm just going to go ahead and mark this out. Sorry, my marker is sort of worn out. Now I want my brim to be 3.5 inches wide, right? So I'm going to be marking 3.5 from this 8 inches point. That's where I'm marking 3.5 round. You can alter your measurements depending on what you want to achieve. So maybe by the time my own is fully done, you can see if you want the brim to be longer or shorter. You can alter that according to your preference. So I'm just going to be marking that off like so. Right? Now on this point, I'm marking 1/2 inch inwards because this 1/2 inch is going to be my sewing allowance. I'm just going ahead to mark 1/2 inch all through. So I'm going to trace that out. So here we have it. This is our brim, right? So I'm going over now to draft our sides. So to do that, I'm going to measure this sewing allowance I have here. I'm going to measure across the line to know how wide that is. So I have 12.2 inches. So over here I'm going to mark 12.2. Sorry, that pen was malfunctioning, so I had to get another one. I'll mark my 12.2 like so. Then I'm going to connect that into a straight line like this. Connect that like so. Then I'm going up by 3 inches. or let's do 3.2. Sorry, let me do 3.5 so that I can use that 5 inches for that 0.5 for sewing allowance. So I'm going up 3.5, which means all my sewing allowance is going to be 0.25 inches, because I'll need sewing allowance here and here, right? So I'm going to find the midpoint of my line, this 3.2, which will be 6.1. I'll find the midpoint. .1, like so, right? Now on this 3.2 mark, I'm going to here like so. Let me square that out so that you understand what I'm doing properly. Now on these 3 points, this point here, I'm going up by half of an inch, like so. Now on this point also, I'm going up by half of an inch. You'll find out why I'm doing that shortly. Now on this point, I'm coming down half of an inch, like so. Then on this point, I'm coming down half of an inch. Now on the midpoint is where I came down half of an inch. On the side points, I'm going up half of an inch. Now the reason is, then on the two upper side ones, I'm going in towards the midpoint half of an inch, right? Then from here as well, I'm going in half of an inch. Now the reason is because I want to curve this. I want to make these, sorry, on this point I'm supposed to go up half of an inch, like so. So what I want to do is to get curved lines, not straight lines, right? So I want to curve the line so that it stays snug on my head. So I'm going to mark this side as well, and so this point, I'm connecting it to this point. That's the half inch that I went inwards. You know, I took, because I'm changing the shape of this the square, so, and I'm bringing it back in a curved form. So if I don't go in by this half inch, it's going to alter my measurement, which means it's going to make it look bigger than, it's going to make the lines bigger than the measurement I took. So I'm going to connect this, right? So I'm connecting these points, right? So this will be our new so let me come back with that black pen, right? So I can show you. I just want to show you where we are cutting out. Let me just trace that out so you would see the point we are cutting out. So this is this side with that I traced off with the black is where we are cutting out. So now we have our brim, we have our side, right? We have our side. Now we are going further to do our top. So for our top, we want to measure the brim. Sorry, my markers are misbehaving today, right? So we want to measure along the sides, like so that we can find the measurement for. So we have 11.7. We have 11.7. So we are going to divide that 11.7 to find our radius. We are dividing 11.7 by 6.28, right? So before we go into that multiplication, I'm just going to make I'm going to just go ahead and make, we want to use this, whatever answer we have here is what's going to be our radius. So we are going to just make this line, so this will be our midpoint of finding our radius. So let me do the calculation and come back and show you. I made this calculation wrong. It's actually 11.7 times 2. You're going to multiply this by 2 because we're cutting 2 of this, but the brim is going to be, the top it will be 1, this will be 2, so we are multiplying it by 2 divided by 6.28, which I got 3.7, right? So 3.7 is our radius, so I'm marking 3.7 like so, right? I'm marking 3.7 round. I'm marking that like so. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect those lines. So this is our top. So we have our 3 panels all prepped. So I'm going to cut those out. So this measurement works for a normal size head. If your head is exceptionally small, maybe you reduce a little from that 8 inches that I started on the brim, you reduce, maybe you use 7 inches or 6.5. Then if your head is big, maybe you use 9 inches, depending on the size of the head that is wearing the So here we go. These are our panels. This is the arrangement. This goes like this, right? This one goes like so. So I went ahead to cut all my panels, right? Now I want my hat to be reversible. So you can see the top, this is the top. I cut 2 panels out of it, so I want it to match my dress. So I cut out the 2 like this. I just placed it and cut the exact same thing like so. Then I added a fusible interfacing. I used a light one. You can use hairstay. So I went ahead to cut that. Then I cut out 4 panels from the side. This side, you remember we cut out half of it, so I cut out 4 panels because we are going to be joining them together, right? So we will be joining it like so. Then this one is for the reversible side, you can see. So I cut out two of this fabric on the side. Then for the brim, I also cut 4 panels as well. I added interfacing to everything, so you can see two of these for the brim. So I just did the exact same thing all through, nothing more. So we're putting our panels aside so we can join everything together. So I'm going to be plugging my machine, right? So we are going to be joining the side panels. So I'm just picking my brim. So I'm using 1/4 of an inch to join the both sides. I'm using white thread because I want the thread to be revealed outside. I just feel like it's going to be a nice design. That's why I'm doing that. But you can use a black thread or a thread that matches your print. So I'm going ahead to do the same thing to the other side. I'm back stitching from the beginning, and at the end of each side I'm back stitching. So I just went ahead to join the brim. You can see this is what I have. So now, just for extra fancy, I'm going to be top stitching my sewing allowance like so. You don't have to do this step. You can actually skip this procedure. So you see, this is what it looks like on the right side. This is what it looks like on the right side, right? So I'm going to do the same thing to my side panels. So guys, I have everything sewn now. My four panels, I've gone ahead to join all of them together. So look at how it is on the inside. This is how it is on the outside. So let's call one, let's maybe call this side the main fabric, and this one, let's call it the lining piece, right? That's just for reference purposes. So this is the brim of the lining piece. This is the side. So I'm going to pick the main fabric now and keep the lining pieces aside. So this black fabric is the lining piece. So I have my brim here. So I'm going to join my brim to the top to my brim. So you can see this is my top. This is the top, like so. So what I'm going to do is fold this point in half. Then I'm going to just give a very small notch, right? Now the reason why I'm notching those points is so that I know where goes on this which side goes to my seam line here at my side. So I'm just going to pin that down. Going to pin that point. Then the second notch, I'll pin it to the other side, like so. Right? So I'm just going to be pinning everything down. just pinning it side by side by side by side like so. You can do this without pinning, but you have to pin to get the best results out of what you're doing. So you can see, so I'm going to just go ahead and start sewing. So I just pinned this right side facing right sides. So I'm using 0.25 inch sewing allowance. As you're sewing, make sure you're taking out your pins so that your needle does not sew on your pin and break your needle. Just do this gradually, there is no rush. So this is it. When you flip it in, this is what it looks like. I'm just going to create notches, right? You know, anytime we are sewing anything that has like a round shape, when you're joining that, it's very good to do notches for easy turning, and it will let your seam relax a lot better. This is our top. It looks nice already, guys. I'm kind of feeling it. It's giving me that if you know kaukuzu, if you're from Nigeria and if you're like the 90s and late 80s kids, you remember kaukuzu from northern Nigeria. Then that there's this comedy skit artist that used to be then when we were still kids. So the cap is sort of giving me that kalkuzu vibe. This is it, the top. So now I'm going to fix the brim. So I'm going to be matching it, right? And I'm also going to be pinning down. Side seam, my seam lines will match seam line. Second seam line should match like so. Right, so I'm going to sew using my remaining 0.25 sewing allowance. I'll sew that round. You have to ensure that that seam line matches, guys. So this is it. One side of our cap is ready, so we are going for that to do the other side. You can see it's already giving that So just like we did the first one, that's the exact same thing we are going to be doing on these panels. So guys, these are my two panels, right? You can see they are lovely. I even kind of like them. So I'm going to join it like so, right? So I'll be joining right sides together like so. So I'll make sure that my seam lines meet each other. I'll pin down. So I'm going to sew. So when I'm 3 inches close to rounding up, that's where I started my sewing. When I'm about 3 inches to that point, I'll stop because I'll finish that off by hand. Now that space will enable me to flip over my cap back to the right side. I'm also going to be making notches round. Now, right? So this step is totally optional. At this point your hat is ready. You can see this is the inside, this is the outer part. You can just rock it like that, right? But I don't want to stop at that point. I want to add a little design. So this one is just for beauty purposes. So I'm just going to sew round. I'm just going to be stop stitching round the hat. So I'm just using my finger. You can see I just press down my finger here as a guide to my seam. So I'm using my finger as a seam guide, right? If you're not used to sewing, you don't do this. Don't use your finger. Maybe you just gauge it with your eyes so that you don't injure yourself, right? So this is the reason why I used white thread, because I want that white to be revealing on the cap. You can use embroidery thread also for this part. So when I get to the starting point, I'm going in again. So that's what I'm going to be doing round the brim of the hat. So at this point, I'm just gauging it with my eye. So guys, this is our finished look. You can see that round stitch that I made. It sort of made the part finer. So look at this on my head. Look at it. So hey. So this is the kind of cap that you wear, and you know, you'll be feeling yourself. So you can style it like so. You can see. You can also make it a slight curve like this, right? And then you can totally reverse it, assuming I want it to match with this other design here. So I can just do this, and I'll kind of bring out a little bit like this, right? So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, share this video with your friends, subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified whenever I have a new video up on the channel. And also, if you have any questions, suggestions or anything you would like to discuss with me, you can drop it in the comment section below, or you check me my Instagram page and send me a DM, James on Instagram. You can also purchase these fabrics also as well on my Instagram page. See you in my next video, guys. Bye.